Mansfield in the morning.
Today I'm going to be looking at forgiveness because I think perhaps from lockdown people are beginning to struggle a bit. And I thought we would look at what forgiveness is. So all religions and most psychologists tell us that it's essential to forgive. And I did a little research. In the Torah we're told forgiveness is a mitzvah, a duty that Jewish people need to try and obey. In Hindu Dharma follows must forgive and seek forgiveness. And in fact forgiveness needs to be sought from the person wronged and society at large, which I found quite interesting. Hindus believe forgiveness is the highest good. Buddhism, forgiveness is absolutely essential. They feel Buddha could not have reached its heights of enlightenment without learning to forgive. The Quran, let them pardon and forgive. Would you not love the Allah to forgive you, we told. And it also said, Allah told us to show forgiveness. And then, of course, we have Jesus, who said, when his disciples said, how many times must we forgive someone? He said 70 times 7. In other words, an infinite number of times. And then Dr. Fred Luskin from Stanford University, a professor there, said, we have to forgive for our own good. And he actually runs a forgiveness project. And he says his definition of forgiveness is the moment-to-moment experience of peace and understanding that occurs when an injured party's suffering is reduced as they transform their grievance against an offending party. And he has proven that it is good for us in many ways. Physically, it's good for our heart and blood vessels. It decreases stress hormones and blood pressure. It's good for our mental health. The project he's run for many years has proved that over and over again. And I'm going to say it's good for us spiritually. So how do we forgive? One, you have to make a determined decision to forgive, realizing that it's good for you mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You need to develop empathy, acknowledge that you too have hurt people, you're also not perfect, and feel for the person that hurt you. What space were they in to feel that they needed to do that? You can write a letter to the person, and I've done this before, who hurt you, but you don't post it, obviously, or email it. You burn it or delete it, because that helps you actually move from the right side of your brain to the left side of your brain in writing, from emotional to logical thinking. And for me, after years and years of doing inner healing, I did a 3-year inner healing course, and a lot of people come because they're carrying hurt. There's a prayer I get people to pray, they say the person's name, and they have to say, I've chosen to forgive you, Jeremy, say, for hurting me, and I release you from my judgment and from any debt I feel you may owe me. And in that moment, I find that there's a release of some of what they're feeling, saying it out aloud. And then this was one I really liked from this professor. He said, take positive action for yourself to show that you've forgiven. And I've never thought of this. Reward myself for forgiving people. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you're still struggling, remember practice makes perfect, and eventually there's less to forgive because we become less reactive to the events in our daily lives. And for me, there's something mysterious about forgiveness. It's not simply an act of will. We don't decide and then it happens. It's more like we flow into forgiveness. And I thought it's the same as sleep. We can't say to ourselves, go to sleep, and we go to sleep instantly. We can get the conditions right, but sleep is still a mystery, actually. And that's what forgiveness is. So we just need to make the conditions right, decide to do it, and then allow ourselves to flow into that forgiveness. So if you're struggling in the lockdown and someone has hurt you, remember, forgiveness is about freeing yourself so that you can move forward in your life and not continue to suffer. And then the last little thing I saw was, don't be in love with the problem. And sometimes we want to hold on to that forgiveness. Who we are is who we are when we let go of that anger and resentment and we set free. So that's it for today. If you're feeling angry with someone, let go, move on.
Thank you, Shona.
Thank you very much, Shona.
Here it comes! It's Mansfield in the morning. Driven by Sandown Motors, your Mercedes-Benz partner.